Hey, are you having pain in your hip when you squat or you lunge and you're not sure what to do about it? That's a problem. We have a solution. In this video, we're going to teach you 3 things you can start doing right away before your workouts to improve your squat and make it pain-free. Hey guys, I'm Dr. Andy Johnson with AJ Physical Therapy and Performance. We are located in Ooltewah, Tennessee. In today's video, we're going to be talking about what are some things you can do to help fix hip pain with squatting or lunging in your workouts. Now, if you missed my last video, I need you guys to go check it out because really that is the best solution. We'll put it in the description. Make sure you check it out because that takes you through the process on the actual best way to fix hip pain. This does involve connecting with a professional who knows what they're doing to take you through a 3-step process to get you back to doing what you want to do. However, if you don't feel you have time for that or are unable to commit to it, today's video is for you. We're going to talk about 3 things that you can implement right away on your own to start fixing the hip problem so that you can squat pain-free. Okay guys, before I show you the 3 exercises that I think you should be working on before you squat or lunge, I need to go over a concept with you that's really important that gives us the reason why we're going to do these 3 exercises. Okay, so let's talk about it. Hopefully that was a good dramatic effect for you. So we have this concept that's in 3 stages: mobility, muscle activation, and load. Mobility says if I have a mobility or a flexibility problem in my hip, I need to work on mobility first. I need to stretch it. Okay? Once we stretch it and we gain some range of motion in that hip, then we need some muscle activation. We just created a new range of motion. Now we use muscle activation to learn how to activate these muscles in this new range so we can solidify the range of motion that we gained. And then finally, and this kind of jumps right into your workout in a lot of instances, is load. Once we create some flexibility, learned how to turn the muscles on, now we get to load it, which is in our workout. We're going to load the squat. We're going to load the lunge to really solidify everything that we gained and learn to activate it under some weight. So understanding this 3-step process becomes really important when we dive into these 3 exercises that I'm going to teach you. Okay? So without further ado, let's get into the 3 exercises. Make sure you do it in this order. I'm going to give you 1 or 2 from each category. That way you can jump right into it. It'll take you a few minutes. You can do it before you squat and hopefully create a little more range of motion, a little bit less pain, and maybe even be a little bit stronger with your squat and lunges. Here we go. Okay, so one important motion in our squat and lunge is having enough hip flexion. And so we're going to be utilizing these first 2 exercises. We're going to be utilizing a mobility band, one of them to help improve hip flexion, and the next one we'll talk about in a minute. I'll put a link in the description below for these bands in case you don't have one or you want to look for one. So we'll have that in there, but you need a nice strong mobility band, something solid to anchor to a rig, a weight machine, Swedish ladder like I have here. Anything like that works pretty well. Okay, so you're gonna lay on your back. We're gonna take that band, you're gonna get it way up into close to the hip as far as you can. Fellas, make sure you move the furniture out of the way. Then we're gonna slide back so there's some strong tension on that band, and then I'm gonna grab the leg just like this. And all we're gonna do is really try to relax here at the hip and allow that band to pull the hip down and away. It should almost feel like it's trying to put a distraction or pull that hip joint out of socket slightly. You're gonna keep it that relaxed. And as you keep it relaxed, you're going to pull into flexion, back it off. Pull into flexion, back it off. So this is a joint mobility problem that we're working on, and joint capsule responds best to slow, repeated motion just like this. So what I am going to suggest, if it's before your workout and you have a tight or painful hip, you're going to spend time doing this. I want at least 20 to 30 reps or pulses before you come out of it. And then of course you can do the other side if needed on the other hip. So that's step 1. You're going to take the band, work on that repeated flexion. to improve hip joint mobility. Okay, so exercise number 2 is working on the rotation of the hip joint. So basically the ability of that hip joint to rotate back and forth throughout the squat and lunge. We're still going to utilize a band, a little bit different setup. So we're going to take the band, I'm going to step in it, get it high up towards that hip joint. We're going to slide out till we get some strong tension on the band. I'm in this nice lunge position posted on the arm. Okay, so the goal here is we're going to push that knee inward, and again, we're going to relax the hip joint as much as possible to allow that band to pull it that direction again. Allow it to pull it out of socket, quote unquote. That's not going to actually happen, but relax it enough till you feel like it's stretching it back towards the wall. So we're going to push into that, feel that stretch, hold it 5 seconds, and then we're going to push the knee out. And as we push it out, you're going to squeeze that glute or butt cheek as hard as you can. You're going to squeeze, 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 hold it 5 seconds, and then back at it again. You're going to push the knee in, allow the hip to relax, let it stretch back towards the wall. And we're going 5 seconds back and forth like that. Squeeze the glute as hard as we can as we push it out. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. We get that double whammy here of hip joint stretch, so the mobility work, plus some muscle activation by squeezing that butt cheek as we push the knee out. Shoot for about 20 reps with this. Do the other hip if you need to, and then you're going to move on to step 3 before you start squatting. So before we continue, I wanted to remind you guys that as much as we love making these videos with helpful tips for you, what we love more is the opportunity to get to work with you one-on-one to help you solve your problem. So if that's something you're interested in and you're in the Ooltewah or surrounding areas, please reach out. We'd love to get you started today. Okay, so now we're ready for step 3. That's muscle activation. Get these hip muscles firing before we jump into our workout of squat or lunges. So I have a looped band here. I'm going to put it around just below the knees a little bit. And then what we're going to work on is squatting, but we're going to stop at 2 different spots and really hone in on squeezing those glutes in those positions. So you're going to give me essentially what I'll call a quarter squat. So we'll bend the knees just a little bit, and I'm going to push hard into that band. Really try to squeeze in those glute muscles. I'm going to hold 5 seconds. 2, 1, drop to at least a half squat, and then really still think about pushing out into that band. Screw the feet into the floor. Core is tight. Hold it 5 seconds. Work back up to that quarter squat. Same thing. Hold 5. Boom. Get out of it. My suggestion is you go through that at least 3 or 4 rounds. Really prime those muscles after doing the joint mobilizations. Now we're ready to jump in and start slowly loading into our squat or lunge workout. Check it out. So I hope you guys found this process helpful in improving your hip pain when you squat or lunge. Please make sure you subscribe to our channel. It helps us reach out to more people. If you found this process helpful, drop a comment below and let me know how it went for you once you tried it. Also, check out the description. There's links in there for more helpful tips. See you next time.